So when we're expanding brackets that have more than two terms in them, we sometimes refer to this as expanding rainbow brackets because we're kind of making ourselves a rainbow while we put in our expanding arrows. But what we're doing is we're going to split this bracket just like we did with double brackets, and we're going to take the first term of the first bracket, and then we're going to write the entire second bracket. So we've got x upon 4x squared plus 3x minus 5. And then we're going to take the second term of that first bracket and write our plus 2. And then we're going to write the entire second bracket, 4x squared plus 3x minus 5. And so now we need to do some expanding. So we're going to do x multiplied by 4x squared, and that gives us 4x cubed. X multiplied by 3x gives us a plus 3x squared. And we've got an x multiplied by negative 5, which gives us negative 5x. Then we're going to do the same thing to the second bracket. We're going to do plus 2 multiplied by 4x squared gives us plus 8x squared. We're going to do plus 2 multiplied by 3x gives us plus 6x. And we're going to do plus 2 take away multiplied by negative 5, and so 2 times negative 5 gives us negative 10. So now we're going to look and see if there's anything that we can collect together. So we've got a 3x squared, a plus 3x squared, remember the sign goes with it, and a plus 8x squared. And then we've got a negative 5x and a positive 6x. And we don't have any other cubic terms, and we don't have any other constant terms. So they'll just end up on their own. So we're going to bring down that 4x cubed. 3x squared plus 8x squared gives us plus 11x squared. Negative 5x plus 6x gives us plus x. And then we're going to take away the 10. And so our final answer is 4x cubed plus 11x squared plus x, take away 10. Now what happens if we have something like this, 3x minus 1 cubed? So we need to remember that that cubic function means that we're rewriting it as 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. So we're writing the bracket 3 times and we're multiplying it together. Now obviously we can't do that in one step, so we're going to have to expand the first two brackets first, and then we're going to multiply it by the second bracket, or we're going to rewrite the first bracket and we're going to multiply the second two brackets together. So we're going to multiply these brackets together and we're going to use FOIL. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 3x multiplied by 3x, and that's going to give us 9x squared. So that was our first. O is for outside, so we're going to multiply the 3x times the negative 1 at the end. That's going to give us minus 3x. Then we're going to multiply our insides, so the inners, the I of FOIL. Negative 1 times 3x gives us minus 3x. And then we're going to do the last terms of each of our brackets. And negative 1 multiplied by negative 1 is going to give us a positive 1. Now I want to simplify that bracket before I move on, otherwise it's going to end up getting complicated. So I want to gather those like terms together. So I'm going to write my first bracket again, 3x minus 1, and I'm going to have 9x squared minus 6x plus 1. Now, in the last slide I showed you how to do it by splitting the brackets. This time I'm going to show you how to do it using rainbows. So we're going to do 3x multiplied by 9x squared, and that's going to give us 27x cubed. Then we're going to do 3x multiplied by negative 6x. That's going to give us negative 18x squared. And then we're going to do 3x multiplied by the plus 1, and so that's going to give us plus 3x. Then we're going to do our rainbows on the bottom, and we're going to do negative 1 multiplied by 9x squared, and that's going to give us minus 9x squared. We're then going to do negative 1 multiplied by negative 6x, which is going to give us a positive 6x. And then we're going to do negative 1 multiplied by positive 1, and that's going to give us a negative 1. So let's go and have a look and see our like terms. So we've got a negative 18x squared, remember the sign goes with it, and a negative 9x squared that we're going to collect together. And we've got a plus 3x and a plus 6x that we're going to combine together. So our final answer is going to be 27x cubed minus 18x squared, take away 9x squared is going to give us minus 27x squared, plus 3x plus 6x is going to give us plus 9x, and then we've got negative 1 at the end. And so the expansion of 3x minus 1 all cubed is 27x cubed minus 27x squared plus 9x minus 1.